The Skyblivion team, including Rebelzize, shared some more gameplay and visuals in their live streams. In this video, I will share some clips from the streams, but we will also feature some community questions along with answers by the developers. So let's get to it. Alright, the first question asked in their Discord server. In the original Oblivion, luck gives, among other things, a hidden boost to skills. However, because skill values are capped at 100 in most formulas, luck ends up rather useless in the late game. Has this issue been fixed in Skyblivion, or will luck work differently? So the developer responds, luck provides a small fortify effect to many skills, increasing their effectiveness, not the displayed value. But it also affects loot chances slightly and critical hit, chance or damage. Interesting. So in vanilla Oblivion, luck modifies all of your stats except acrobatics, athletics and speechcraft. The formula is fairly simple, as you can see here. Essentially, a skill is increased by 40% of the points of luck you have over 50. For example, a player with luck of 60 will see skills increased by 4, while a player with luck 100 will see skills increased by 20. I felt the luck attribute was dumbed down in Oblivion. It was way more complex in Morrowind, where it plays a vital role in the chance to hit, chance of evasion, lockpicking, alchemy, and the chance of casting spells. I like that the Skyblivion team adds a few more features that Oblivion did not have. Skyblivion's luck impacts the loot you receive from containers or other level lists and also affects critical hit, chance, and damage. Now that is super cool. This will give luck some more importance in our builds. Before we move to the next question, let's check out a short clip on how to raise the disposition of a Skyblivion NPC using the bribe system.
Can I help you? Well, isn't that we understand every little bit help. Old. See? Well, what a thoughtful gift. That will get you every little bit help. Thank you. Thank you. How nice. It's just what I...
As you saw, the persuasion minigame is gone, and to raise the disposition of an NPC, you manipulate a fixed value with things like personality potions, charm spells, and bribes. I thought the Oblivion's persuasion minigame sucked, and this feels more like Morrowind, so I like instantly. But I do wish we had other menu options like admire or intimidate, which also affected disposition. Do share your thoughts on the simple disposition system of Skyblivion. Next question. I'd like to know how staves work in Skyblivion. Will they be two-handed weapons capable of blocking and instant casting like in Oblivion? Or will they work like Skyrim staves? So the developer responds, staves are Skyrim style with a few perks and items to make them a little more usable to a full play style. Very cool to see staves getting perks, so hopefully we can feel a sense of progression for a staff-only playthrough. Now, for those who don't know, Skyblivion will have a perk tree, which was not present in Oblivion. As you can see here from these screenshots, you have a set of perks under each attribute. Under strength, we see a perk called melee. Melee weapons do 2x damage. The next perk is more specific. It says war axes and battle axes do bleed damage. Essentially, if you want to specialize in using war axes for the rest of the game, you can invest a series of perks in the war axe tree. Or if you want a character to only use daggers and poisons, you can use the dagger perk tree to improve your dagger attacks. This is a huge improvement over classic Oblivion, where the blade skill represented daggers, axes, swords and claymores. There was no way to specialize further. I assume staves will have perks under the willpower tree. Let me know what you think. Alright, before we move on to the next question, let's check out some fireball fights.
Wait, let me charm you and then kill you. Why are you scared? I've only hit you like once.
As you saw, the spellcasting just felt like Skyrim. Using a spell in the offhand with a weapon in the other is a classic Skyrim system. This always felt more badass when I could see my spells getting charged before casting compared to the simple animation of Oblivion. Of course, many Oblivion fanatics won't agree and would prefer the button-based casting. For me, it was never a big deal. So yeah, the mage gameplay of Skyblivion will feel like Skyrim. The next question. In the original, there was no clothing or handwear outside of the wrist irons you start with. Does Skyblivion add more clothing and handwear options like gloves? So the developer responds, we do have gauntlets, braces for the various armor sets. Oh yeah, so the wrist irons you wear at the start of Oblivion are kinda cool. Oblivion has no gloves, so the only gauntlet with an armor rating of 0 is the wrist iron. Since the armor rating is 0, it doesn't reduce your spell effectiveness, and you can also use it for enchanting. So looks like we won't have this wrist iron system. It is a minor thing, but some people loved it. RIP. Before we move to the next question, here is a short clip of the Skyblivion starter dungeon and the chirpy Valen Dreth.
Oh, look. An Imperial in the Imperial prison. I guess they don't play favorites, huh? Your own kinsmen think you're a piece of human trash. How sad. Imperial criminal scum like you give the Empire a bad name, you see. You're an embarrassment. Best if you just disappear. I bet the guards give you special treatment before the end. Oh, that's right. You're going to die in here, Imperial. You're going to die.
Haha, Valen Dreth, what a character. He has unique lines for every race. Awesome to see him in Skyblivion as well. Next question. I have been playing the remastered for a while now. I am really noticing the lack of quests to do in each city. Also the lack of role-playing options to go explore each dungeon in the area except for loot and sell. In Skyrim, I love the Radiant Quest innkeepers and stewards give you because I could always roleplay as a mercenary for hire and go clear a bandit fort or request something for someone. Will Skyblivion implement this mechanic? Will innkeepers give you Radiant Quests to go explore dungeons in their area? A developer responds, no, we do not plan to implement Radiant Quests as it stands. However, we are trying to make Skyblivion friendly for a modder to set up Radiant Quests, should someone wish to do so, by setting up appropriate keywords that the Radiant Quest system can latch onto to select the random location for quests. Yeah, while Oblivion had a lot more faction quests, the number of quests in each city was disappointing compared to the number of quests in Skyrim cities. For example, Skingrad has 4 city quests. The rest were all faction quests. No wonder, once you finish these 4 quests, you are done and you had to move on from the city. Let's take a look at Solitude. You had 4 meaty side quests, and then you had Radiant quests and more than 15 simple miscellaneous quests. Your character can spend many days in one city and work on their skills. I enjoyed Skyrim cities far more than Oblivion cities. I'm sure we'll get a mod that adds a mission board or 15 to 20 miscellaneous quests in each Skyblivion city. Super cool that the developers have added keywords for the Radiant quest system. The Radiant Conversations page in UESP lists only 25 questions and answers. Can this be expanded? So the developer responds, we're not recording new lines, so expansion is not likely, though not impossible. The conversations would be implemented with Skyrim's scene system. The question would be if there are parameters that can be tweaked to make it a little more Oblivion-like. Yeah, Oblivion had a wonderful Radiant conversation system where NPCs talk to each other, and here we can see the list of conversations. I assume these will be converted to the Skyrim scene system. Rebelzize shares a demo. Let's take a look at the demo.
Nord beggars are built different. Oh, that they are. For sure. I do love the way it looks. Bruma is,
So, what do you have to report?
lovely.
Didn't you hear the explosion? Some damn drunk of a wizard started hurling fireballs at passers-by. Took 4 guards to haul him in. You're a good man. We could use more like you, that's for damn sure. You ask me, you'll be getting that promotion in no time. We'd best get back to work now, Captain catches us gabbing, it'll be our heads.
I don't think people realize how impressive it is that we have these dynamic conversations that happen between NPCs. This is only something that's been in the game, like in Skyblivion, for the last 6 months. And it's because someone joined the project that was able to figure that out.
can you share some insights into the exploration of the Skyblivion world? A fairly open-ended question, and Rebelzize answers this in the form of a demo in one of his streams. Let's watch.
Yeah, I did this area, which is very heavily inspired by just English countryside and Hobbiton. Yeah, this is definitely one of the areas I'm most proud of. I'm really happy. I always envisioned, it's a bit silly, but I always envisioned like a huge ass windmill right there. And a big part of the project, I would, obviously delegate work to other people, and I always gave them like a design document for like, if you're working on the city, make sure to put a windmill like on the hill overlooking it. And they ended up putting it there myself a couple of years later, because just look at how cool the view is. Like when you're walking in, at some point you see like the roofs of the towers sticking out, and you see the windmill from far away. I just think it's sick. The whole area is pretty wide open. There's very few trees, so what I really like about the region is that wherever you stand, you can always see something in the distance. So from here, like we see a big tower, we see a little shrine here, we see the roofs of what looks like a small settlement. Through the trees, I guess depending on where you stand, but you should be able to see a little house that's over there somewhere. There's a little ruin, there's an alien ruin behind it. There's always something. There's a cave over there. There's always something that draws your eye and hopefully invites you to, give it a look. There's an excavation. There's some hunters here, but there's also like a proper excavation happening of this alien ruin, which is tied into a quest line. If you can see closely, there's like some kind of like magic coming from the water. Oh wow, it's a magic well. All these things to hopefully make exploration a lot more rewarding than, in vanilla Oblivion, for instance. There's a little abandoned shack here.
Wow, you can clearly feel the love and passion in the exterior level design work. Every location has lots of extra clutter and environmental storytelling. Incredible. Alright, next question. I do remember in previous diary entries, there had been talks of entirely new content being added to Skyblivion, which felt naturally fitting to the world. Things such as actually implementing the lost city of Sutch, I believe, have been specifically mentioned. I may be misremembering, but I do feel like I remember new quests and perhaps additional unique armor or weapons being considered as well. A developer response: we are aiming to avoid scope creep as much as possible to meet the release, so I wouldn't expect many new items or quests. However, you did mention Sutch. Sutch has been remade entirely so that it's not just a tiny fort. That ethos extends across the entirety of Cyrodiil. Everywhere has been redesigned to be varied and make sense. You might find exterior things that are not dungeons as well, but make sense for the world, such as a stone quarry for the city of Anvil or a vineyard. Very cool. So Crafty Tom, a Skyblivion developer, showcased Sutch in his stream. Let's take a look at the ruins of Sutch.
So yeah, like this is Fort Sutch now. I think it's just because the weathers are not done. That's all. But yeah, Fort Sutch is actually a city, pretty much. Way too pretty to be Oblivion. Yeah, I feel that sometimes. LOD flickering is doing my head in though.
Oh wow, that looked incredible compared to the Wyla Sutch ruin. The massive walls are intact and there is stone rubble all over. We can also see a destroyed stone road leading to the city. I assume the team will populate this ruin with bandits for the player to kill. Alright guys, so with that we have come to the end of this month's Skyblivion update. Thanks again to the developers of Skyblivion for their incredible passion and dedication. We will leave with a Skyblivion landscape runabout. I shall see you next month for another Skyblivion update. May the Divines watch over you.